back, everybody, to Between Two Mediums. Those of you just joining us for the first time, we're two mediums, and we're talking about everything to do with spirituality, with mediumship, just connecting to spirit, everything and anything. We're here for you and creating the supportive space to share and talk about our perspectives and insight into the topics. So I'm Nancy. I'm an Akashic Records reader and medium and Reiki practitioner, and
And I'm Kathy. I'm an evidential medium, and we're really excited that you're joining us today.
yes. Today we thought we'd give you some insight and our own tips into connecting to spirit to help you out if you're at the start of your journey or maybe in the middle and you just want to learn our techniques and how we got started. We'd love to share that with you today. So stay tuned.
Yeah, so since we're talking about connecting with spirit, Nancy, I was wondering if maybe we should kind of first more define that. What do we mean by connect with spirit? Um, what does it mean?
Mhm.
Um, and who is it that we're connecting with?
Yeah, I think that's important. I know when um, yeah, it's been a long journey. Like I even was remembering that I was trying to connect with the spirit of my dog when she passed away, when I was
Yeah.
10 years old, and I was looking for signs.
Oh,
Move my pom pom that was on the wall if you're here and things like that. But then as a
wow.
teen, like my cousin and I started to go to these places, these haunted places, and see if we could connect with spirit. And so yeah, there's just different purposes, different reasons, different spirits.
Were you able to so you went to those places to connect with spirit because you just thought that that would be an obvious place where you might get a connection?
Exactly. Yeah, we're still into that, which is weird now being a medium who does connect consistently with spirit. But yeah, we went to this amazing place in West Virginia. It's called the Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum. And yeah, we connected. We were playing cards using one of the what's it called? The EFT light
This
thing. I don't know what it's called. And
You mean
dowsing
that the
rods.
meter, the
Yeah,
meter
yeah,
that goes
yeah.
up and out? Yeah, yeah.
We went in this because what happened is they locked us in at night. So we got there at 10 at night and we stayed till the early hours of the morning, and we would go in this
Yikes.
room and use I think it's EMF detector, and we would say, like, do you want us to lay another card down? We were playing cards, poker. With spirit. So yeah, we were getting responses, and it wasn't scary. Some areas of it maybe were a little bit scary, but it was interacting with spirit in that way, which was interesting. We've gone to jails too, where the energy just felt different, and my cousin always feels sick to her stomach. So at that
Yeah.
point, I was realizing, there's different energies and different spirit that you're connecting with. How about you? What would you
Well,
say?
I think I know a lot of people who do those kind of things. And I think that's a very outward, obvious place to
Hmm.
go, and I've never done that. That kind of actually scares me. Um, I've been on like ghost tours and all, but I won't go in places. I don't know why. And here, but I feel like connecting with spirit could also mean um, just like for me, I guess my journey to connect with spirit, I wasn't necessarily intentionally setting out to connect with spirit.
Hmm.
I was kind of like an anxious, nervous Nelly person, and I was tired of it, and I wanted to find some peace. So I kind of started through trying to meditate, which I think can look very different for different people. Like it's not just as one way to meditate. So my way of meditating was just a way to kind of let go and connect. I didn't know that I didn't set out to connect with spirit. I set out to disconnect from myself to try to find a sense of peace and put everything aside. And I think in practicing to do that, I kept doing it because I was finding some success with it, some joy in that, some peace in doing that. And what I didn't realize is that I kind of was connecting with my inner self, and then that led me on a path to connect with whomever. So I think you can connect with your inner self is still part of a greater
Mhm.
knowing. It's removed from this all things that the humans side of us put on it, so
Right.
that it could lead to a connection to whatever you define as a greater source in your life, whether it's God or this just a general
Mhm.
greater energy. um I think connecting to that is just very valuable to do in your life, however you define it. And I'm
Right.
not even sure we need to define who do we want to connect with. It just let it, I mean, I just feel like we don't always know yet. I
I
didn't
know.
know. I certainly did not know when I was meditating that I was actually ended up, I feel like, connecting with um guides, or which I didn't call them guides. I was just having these nice experiences.
How long did you, well, two questions, I guess, like, how long did you sit to meditate? And then how long were you meditating? Like, was it like till you felt that you were connecting with spirit or here, like right away, did you sit down and you felt, oh, I
No,
connect? No.
no, not at all. I was sitting, honestly, my goal was just to quiet my mind. My goal
Okay.
was to stop feeling anxious. And
Okay.
so in doing that, I can't remember all the things, but I was starting to experience that because it was making me feel a little bit better. Um so years. I
Oh, wow.
meditated for years. And then I even found myself going, I got trained in transcendental meditation. And then in that training, and if you read any of those kinds of books on meditation, you are connecting to something. I think
Mhm.
different people define it to be different things. And maybe leaving it undefined is better. But you're connecting to something different than your brain. And so I was doing that for years, and then um realizing that, and I really do think my meditation improved, and I started having more experiences, and then I do feel like I was connecting to guides. But again, I didn't set the intention to connect with guides, or I didn't call them guides. I didn't know what this was.
Right. Right.
But there's stuff there, and it was beautiful, and it was something that made me keep doing it. And then it evolved
Hmm.
years.
Hmm.
I did that for years. And then it
Yeah.
evolved to, like, it was a spark in my mind, like, hmm, what, maybe there's more to this. And so you start exploring what that more could be.
Hmm.
Um, and that's what led me to then understanding um the vast variety of options that are out there and the
Right.
experiences that you could have. What
Yeah.
about, did you
Yeah, it's
have
not
any
a
kind of
quick
experience like that?
process. So
No,
so
it's
there
not a
was
quick.
that, the cousins with the haunted type of places,
Yeah.
but no, I've always been somebody who I didn't, I guess like you said, I didn't realize I was connecting with spirit, but I was asking questions. I was like my grandfather taught me to do playing cards. I had taken one of these little books my sister had and started reading my own cards, playing cards. I wasn't using a tarot deck, but I was using playing cards to read, and ask questions. And so yeah,
I
I
didn't know
probably
you could
was.
do that.
I
With
found
playing
her book.
cards.
I always keep it here on the desk, but it's this little book that was my big sister. She's a lot older than me, and so I
Oh,
would take her stuff
interesting.
when she went off to college, and she had this little book of how to read playing cards. Yeah, my grandfather did do it. But yeah, and I would sit down with this deck and lay it out, and I didn't know I was connecting with, like, I think that would have freaked me out if I thought I was connecting with spirit, but I always did do
That's really
that.
cool.
And that was always and sometimes it would like be too true, and it would freak me out, and so I would hold off and not do it for a while. And that's what was happening during the pandemic. I was reading my tarot cards, and that's when I heard about the Akashic records, and they're like, you can connect to your spirit guides. So I didn't even think that I was connected at that point, and I took a class. A lot happened during the pandemic. You probably saw that for yourself too. I had
For
time to
sure, you
take
had time.
classes, and I took a how to connect with your spirit guides, and I did the meditation to do that. So, and now when I do Akashic records, I'm connecting with guides, and people are like, well, how do you know it's not your loved ones that you're connecting with? And I don't know. I think it's all connected. I think it can be I definitely know it's sometimes, because that's how mediumship came in for me. It can be your loved ones. It can be your guides. It can be it can even be, I feel like, layered sometimes. So several of them talking at once to bring through this message. And, I tell, clients, don't focus. So, I mean, yes, if you want to connect with your mom or somebody, yeah, let's find out who it is. But other times, maybe it's just the message that you need to hear. Let's focus on what they're saying and why, not who.
Yeah.
But but
I think
yeah.
it's the experience of just noticing, because there's people who, their practice involves connecting with angels. And
Hmm.
um, I guess my advice would be to don't try to label it so much at
Hmm.
first. Just be open to it. And it's things will evolve, and maybe it's just the experience to have and to appreciate that first, and then worry
Yeah.
about how to tailor it to really what you want. But it's difficult to start doing it, and to trust that that's what you're doing. It's just a matter of, um does it I guess it depends on if you're looking to do this, um and to really know what you're doing and dive deep, and to do this so you can say, I can connect with my guides, I can connect with those who cross over.
Hmm.
Then that's a path that you're going to take, and it's let it evolve in that way. But if you're just doing this for curiosity, I just think, don't worry about defining it so much.
Yeah.
uh just listen to the part of you that isn't involved with all the drama of life. That's
Right.
connecting. That's connecting. My belief, that's connecting. um so it's a hard challenge for sure.
Yeah. And
But
I know, how do I say this? I know that you said you sat down and meditated for a bit, and so people might want to do that because you do that, which I think is good. But I consistently think we say this is to not feel like you have to do some, like, try it and see if it works for you, but don't feel like I have to do this because Kathy said this.
oh
Um,
gosh, no.
but yeah, no, so I just want to say that again, that we feel that, take what we're saying as possible ways. Maybe you do want to get your playing cards and try connecting that way. Maybe you do want to just sit and try meditating, because there's so many ways, and to let it flow and see how it develops and evolves for you is, and not be frightened by it as much as you can, to just know that spirit will come through to help, um, make it easier for you, and be a supportive place with that intention is the best way to go.
And I think some people think connecting to spirit, it's a hard challenge for sure.
Yeah. And
But
I know, how do I say this? I know that you said you sat down and meditated for a bit, and so people might want to do that because you do that, which I think is good. But I consistently think we say this is to not feel like you have to do some, like, try it and see if it works for you, but don't feel like I have to do this because Kathy said this.
oh
Um,
gosh, no.
but yeah, no. So I just want to say that again, that we feel that, take what we're saying as, possible ways. Maybe you do want to get your playing cards and try connecting that way. Maybe you do want to just sit and try meditating, because there's so many ways, and to let it flow and see how it develops and evolves for you is, and not be frightened by it as much as you can, to just know that spirit will come through to help, um, make it easier for you, and be a supportive place with that intention is the best way to go.
And I think some people think connecting to spirit, opens up the world of things you don't want. And that's a
Right.
whole nother conversation for another
Yeah.
episode.
Yeah.
But that's not what we're talking about here. All with this is all within a loving, embracing love kind of
Yeah.
thing you're doing for yourself to connect with. So that I just want to make that clear, that uh, there's conversation to be had with with conversations about protection and all that stuff, but
Yeah,
that's
we'll
not
do
what we're
that.
going to talk about that today.
Yeah, let's focus. So what are some everyday practices that you do? Where do you like to connect with spirit, and how has it changed for you? Maybe it's different than when you first were meditating in that scene.
I think anytime you're in deep thought or want to think about something, it could be wherever you are. But I do think going to the same spot, if when you can, if you're
Mhm.
going to meditate with intention, helps to get your brain used to. The more you do it, the more your brain recognizes, okay, this is what we're going to do now. And it helps to further the process or speed up the process over time. It's not,
Mhm.
I think I would love to get into the whole conversation of meditation and what it is and what it isn't, but don't have any expectations. Just sit
Yeah.
quietly. If you quiet your mind a little bit, that's great. Like, so I think go into the same spot. What about you? Where do you do this?
Yeah, the same spot worked for me a lot, especially when I was trying to connect with the Akashic records. Uh, that was part of the learning, was to do it in the same place for and slowly increase the time, because and
Mhm.
it was hard for me because I am not somebody who meditates. Like, my mind is everywhere all at once. So for me, even now, I find I used to do it always in the same chair in the house, but now I connect with spirit when I'm in my car. I immediately say my
Yeah.
Akashic records are open. And it was funny yesterday. I was like, I just don't know if I'm ready to. I feel like I have nothing to ask, nothing, I just want to listen to some music, but I felt this nudge in my throat and I was like, I'm sorry. Um, they don't want to say anything now. That's just me. But that it's just my coffee. But yeah, I was like, okay, what do you have to say? And they came through with messages that they wanted to share with me, and it was good that I opened it then. But even just taking a walk around the lake is where I like to go, and just seeing what
Yeah.
comes through, and just being at peace, and not having a podcast. And like, no offense to us, but like, no podcast, no YouTube, nothing on, and just listening to the sounds and noticing and just seeing what comes into my head. That's where I like to connect most. I just, being in nature is where I feel
Yeah.
um most at peace. And so they often encourage me to go by the water. So whether it's a creek or a lake or something, or under a tree, that's where I like to connect.
That's
So
interesting
do
because
that.
I too like going outside in nature, and I
Yeah.
have beautiful
You're right near this
trail.
beautiful lake.
Right,
I would
and right
love
by
to live
these
there.
trails, and it's like you said, you put everything away and just be there.
Mhm.
It's also the start of this all, the start of trying to connect with spirit, just the start of trying to quiet your mind so you can hear, or if
Right.
at the connection is just allowing yourself to be where you are. And
Mhm.
that's a simple statement, and it sounds so simple, but it can be hard just to allow it. It's okay. I'm here. I'm walking here. I don't have any noise around me. I don't have any distraction. And it's okay. And I'm just here. And this is where I am. And that's what I would do. I just kind of repeat that to myself, like, I am here. This is just where I am. And it's okay that I'm here.
Mhm.
And that's just kind of like the start so I think I
Yeah.
agree with you, being out in nature and just wherever. I think it can be wherever you want it to be and whenever you want it to be. I do want to mention this one thing that helped me in the initial stages of trying to quiet my mind so I can, what now I
Mhm.
know, connect to be connecting with spirit, but then I didn't really realize what I was doing. I was just looking for peace.
Mhm.
Um, was I listened to music.
Oh.
Um, and specifically though, I listen to, like, there's the brainwave science, there's brainwave music that you can listen to that puts your brain in different states of relaxation. I I not everybody loves it because it's not like great music. I just found it to be, that's a one tool to use that's really great if you look at binaural beats,
Oh, yeah.
or isochronic tones.
Uh-huh.
Um, you can find them all over YouTube.
Maybe I should
That's a
put one in the show
great
notes.
way to just kind of give yourself this gift of a few minutes of quiet, of to
Right.
start your journey or connecting, or if you're already on your journey, just a way to jumpstart that for you.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. That's a good point. The meditation, I often still like to have a guided meditation, rather
Oh
than just
yeah,
sitting with the music. Sometimes I need to hear
for
those
sure.
words to focus on, and my mind wanders, but then I come back to the voice. I think Tony Stockwell has a great 10 minutes sitting in the power that I like to do. And of course,
Mhm.
Joseph has beautiful meditations, but yeah, YouTube has so many that can help you just connect with spirit, and you can search that, and it just is a way to help you. It to start to meditate more is to focus on those words, and that's what I used in the beginning, and I just would search around. I didn't always use the same meditation, but I would like to find those to help me. Even they have walking ones that you can use as you're walking around your neighborhood or
Yeah.
whatever.
And I think that's a great tool because especially if your mind's going, sometimes you just need to listen. I think people think
Yeah,
meditation is you have to quiet your mind, and now I'm focusing on these words, so I'm not quieting my mind. Don't worry
right.
about that. It's just
Yeah.
I think it's a great tool. Guided meditation is a great tool to get started. So I
So
think we've
yeah,
covered a lot here today.
yeah.
I think that we just want to reiterate that. Oh, I have one more thing. One takeaway. If you're at the early stages of this, or if you're struggling in some way with it, stop labeling it. And if it, don't say, okay, how do I know I'm going to connect with this person or with my guide or whatever? Just let it happen. Just let the experience happen. Um, I just feel like sometimes not labeling it leaves
Mhm.
leaves the door open wider.
Yeah, because it gets
So
frustrating, right? If you are, I know that I was in a class and she wasn't trying, she was teaching us about connecting with our spirit guides, and she did a meditation, and she said, "Oh, you will meet your spirit guide. You will see them step in front of you. What do they look like? What do they sound like? What do I was like, I don't know. And everybody else was getting it, and it was stressful. Like, I don't know. Maybe I don't have a spirit guide because I didn't see anybody. I didn't know, I didn't hear anybody. Nobody was in the on the bench next to me. Like, and so that can be frustrating when you're comparing yourself to others, or your these expectations that you set up. Like, I'm going to hear a name and I will hear who my spirit guide is. It may not
right.
happen for you. Like, it's all
It may
right.
not.
Like, you do have spirit guides, but maybe it will take time. Maybe who knows how it will unfold for you. But yeah, let go. Like, just it
Yeah.
wasn't like I know for both of us, it wasn't we sat down and blah blah, like you said, things opened up and this channel came through. Like, no, it
Yeah.
evolves. It takes time, and you said years. Yeah, absolutely. And I can't believe it's
Years.
been
Yeah.
5 years now.
And I'm
That
not
we've
saying it
been
needs to
meeting.
take everybody years. I wasn't on this I
No,
didn't know what path I was on. I was doing meditating just for a different purpose, just to kind of quiet my
yeah,
mind. But also know that connecting with spirit could also just be connecting with your inside of you, with your
yeah,
inner being, with your true self.
hmm,
That is very worthwhile too. That is just um a great place to sit when you can uh, to connect with that. So just maybe if you're struggling with it, don't put the labels on it.
yeah.
Just sit
Just
and yeah,
see what
it's a great
happens.
thing. Yeah. So we we hope, I'm gonna just end with this. What a long time ago, it was my New Year's resolution. Before I knew anything, before I was connecting with anybody or even had the intention.
Mhm.
Um, it was my New Year's resolution to just listen to my intuition more. Um, I
Oh,
didn't really
I
know what
like
that
that.
meant.
So you said I'm gonna do whatever my intuition says.
I'm going to notice it.
Oh,
If
notice it.
it's
Okay.
I'm going to pay attention if I get this like oh, I better take this now because I'll probably forget it later. Then I'm going to
Okay.
do that. I'm going to take
Okay.
it now.
Okay.
I
I
mean, I'm
love
not
that.
and just noticing it more because you can't pay
Okay.
attention to it if you don't notice it.
Yeah.
So noticing what my intuition is telling me. That was a
Okay.
huge step for me. Is just
I
noticing that
love
and then
that. I
following
love
along.
that. Just
Yeah.
noticing, because that didn't set up a lot of pressure on you. Um,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
how did it work out?
Oh, well, it took me on this
How did it
path
change you?
that
Okay.
I
Obviously it worked
think
out well.
I got, you start listening to yourself, you start realizing, oh, I don't know, it's hard to say, but it took me on this path, this curiosity opened up, and I wanted to learn about this, and then I wanted to read about that, and it just kind of it started me down this path.
Yeah.
So I think it worked out. I'm so grateful for that because it took me like I said, just can't you can't set out to do this. I feel like this it just unfolded for me personally.
Right.
And I'm glad I didn't put parameters on it because I just let my curiosity grow. So my intuition, I think doing that was huge.
So before that though, you had like if something would come up, you would say, "Oh, I'm not ready." Like you would be too cautious about it, or you
No, I
just
think
weren't even.
before I just wasn't I just was in my I was meditating and all beforehand. But
Hmm.
then it was just I think I honestly I feel like I got a calling to say, "Hey," I feel like it was spirit saying, "Hey, listen to your intuition. We're trying to talk to you." And I think that's why I took it to
Okay.
the next step of actually
Yeah.
noticing it and paying attention to how I was feeling or what it was going on in my mind,
Right.
in that respect. So, what about you?
Yeah.
What would be your suggestion?
For everybody, yeah, following your intuition is a good one. Paying attention to it and just allowing. But I think what you had mentioned earlier is really key is to sit in the same place to allow and see what comes through. I need to. I am all over the place, thinking, da 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 da. So when I focus and sit in the same place, whether it's in my car, but in the beginning it was in a chair, I would get a
Hmm.
journal, dedicated a journal. I didn't know where this was leading, and so I kept having to add notebook pages to this 3-ring binder I happen to have, from one of
Yeah,
the kids. But I think sitting there with your journal and just seeing what comes through. And I didn't put pressure on myself to have to hear an answer or get something. And sometimes it was just, if you look back at my journal, sometimes it was just doodles that I would do, or it was just a
hmm,
word that would come through, or I feel in somewhere for some reason I started writing poetry, and it was just allowing whatever came through on the page. Sometimes nothing. Sometimes it was just what I was feeling that day or what was going on,
right.
and that was also key. I think if you are sitting and journaling and something, I know this is for me in the middle of the night when I start worrying about something. If I write it down, I
Hmm.
can let it go and know I'll see it in the morning. So even if you're meditating and you keep thinking about something, like open your eyes, write it down, and then let it go. And having that journal close by, I think, is a good place to start. Get yourself a pretty journal that you dedicate for using for connecting with spirit, and you'll really
Right.
enjoy and date it and look back, and you'll see it's fun to look back at what you were doing and what was going on,
For
when you
sure.
first
Yeah.
started.
Yeah.
Um,
So
and yeah, those are good.
hopefully these tips will be something that you could try to use. I know a lot of people, um, you know, journaling is a whole nother topic on itself too. We could
Yeah,
go into
yeah,
that,
yeah, yeah.
and how that actually connects with spirit. So we hope you have can take away some things to try or things to think about, or if you're already on your journey, maybe you would have some, you know, other things to add. So we could always take
Mhm.
comments below. And we hope you tune into our
Yeah, hit
next
subscribe.
episodes. We have so much to cover, and we're going to be asking for some guest speakers to help us cover some of these topics.
Yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait. Yeah, definitely hit
Yeah.
subscribe and follow. And also, we want to announce that we are just have put together our hub, our website, landing page, whatever you want to call it, to find us and what's going on with us at Between Two Mediums. Everything. It's actually the number two, right? Between Two Mediums, the number
It's
two.
the number two. Yeah, between2mediums.com. Yeah.
Yes. So find us there, and you'll see when new episodes are out, and you'll find what we're up to, events and happenings like our gallery readings in Annapolis and so forth. So yeah, come find us. We're excited about it, and you can find everything about us there.
Thanks for tuning in.
Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time.
Take care.